Hi, y'all. I did a bad, and I did not schedule this ahead of time. So hopefully, I am sorry I fell down so badly. Welcome into the corner joint for the final chapter in chapters in Jenna Miscaviage's book, Beyond Belief. It's so nice you're here. Soda is here right in front of me. Why my camera doesn't want to focus is anybody's guess. I knew Susan was here. Yeah, I did two things. I set my alarm for 10 to 6. Hey, Thrasher. Hi, Cricket. Why is my camera not working? Come on. Can we focus? Can we bring the focus in? That's better. So I set my alarm. Thank you, Indigo. We shall do a Xenu Marlene right now. Xenu Marlene, everybody. I am so sorry I am late. I'm really sorry I forgot to schedule a live. I don't know what I was thinking. I set my alarm to go off for 10 minutes before the hours, and the alarm went off, and I took just one more moment to shut my eyes. And you know what I did? I fell asleep for 15 minutes. And then I rushed over here and realized that I hadn't even set a live. I hadn't even scheduled a live. I am so sorry, y'all. I don't know what planet, well, I know what planet I've been on. I have been, oh my goodness gracious, I have been head down, deep, hard, working. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Totally forgot my train of thought. It went right out of my head. One of these days, I don't know, these things that go right out of my head. Okay, let's pull this book up. Oh, thank you, Susan. I've been head down working hard on my lesson plans. I'm taking 5 credits this quarter, so that's 2 courses. One's 4 credits, and one's 1 credit. And so for the 1 credit class, I am volunteering for an organization that does virtual international exchange programs. Here he is. Here's a soda bear. Come here. Come here. There he is. Everybody, no, stay here. Stay here. Let me, no, stay here. turn that off so everybody can see. There he is. There he is. Hmm? Oh. Do you guys understand just how large this freaking cat is? He's so big. Oh my goodness. Okay, are you gonna get your tail in everything? Hey, Orion. No matter how much I think I get myself ready before he is ginormous, Cricket. No matter how much I think I get myself ready before that one. No matter how many times I think I'm ready before the live, I'm never ready before the live. And now Soda is sitting in the way, taking my taking my whole desk. So let me show you these amazing pictures Cricket sent. Hold on. Um, okay, sorry. That seems to be my operative word for the last, 10 minutes? Sorry. Hi, Sunrise Dawn. Hi, Susan. Thank you guys for being so kind as I get myself situated and everybody shows up. Orion, our Soda has decided to take off. Yes, Cricket is now a moderator. I asked him yesterday. So let's show these pictures that Cricket sent me. Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing? First, we got some pictures. Hold on. Okay, we're going to show you the entire screen. So first we've got this one. And we've got that one. Hey, Scooter Mom. I love this little Orion in his robe. These are thumbnail options that Cricket made. I think the pig balloon is adorable. I like it better than the marijuana balloon. I like the pig and bread balloon. And then he made a picture of Soda and Orion. So there's this one, which I think is really funny with his extra legs. We got 1 foot here and 1 foot there. And we got no cord from this hookah pipe. Pretty funny. But I love the absinthe in the corner there. And we got another one of Soda. So we got a ton of fun art, y'all. Soda and Orion. Lovely. Lovely. So with that said, y'all, let's dive into this book. Let me get it open here on my desktop. That's what I was going to do next. Cricket is incredibly talented. Find this book. Yeah, I've had words over. I've had similar words. Similar words. The color pattern I didn't find easy. So these were an interesting 2 chapters, y'all. I think they give a really interesting contrast between the way things were then and the way they are now. The book was published ten years ago, 11 years ago. So I think Jenna's growth, I mean, It is rather amazing to me how the church is able to continue to exert such control over its members in this day and age. Do you guys have any ideas about what contributes to that? I mean, I guess people still coming out? Are people actually still coming out? Um, and is it just fear? Is it just fear that's keeping people in, or is it something else? And if it's just fear, what's the fear of? Because I think one of Jenna's big fears in reflecting, it seems that one of Jenna's big fears was how she would live and function in the outside world, right? Um, but I think it made a huge difference when they were in Australia. I think losing family and friends, yeah, that fear I think is really real. Losing family and friends and that was one that we talked about that last week, Scooter Mom. That was one of the big differences between Jenna and her husband. What's her husband's name? It's escaping me right now. But that her husband losing her husband. It's sort of interesting reading a book like that, having a more recent window into the author's life. Yeah, isn't it interesting? Dallas, thank you. I wanted to say Dusty, and I'm like, I know Dusty's not right. Dallas. The biggest difference for her and Dallas was that Dallas had ties to his family, whereas her family was all gone. Um, do you guys think that it's lack of education and knowledge that keeps people from being able to think critically? Or do you ones that grew up in there are scared of the outside world? Yeah, it really seemed, Susan, like being in Australia for a year gave them so much strength to be able to function in the outside world. And it also gave them freedoms and experiences that they came to see as normal, um, which were then taken away, right? Then they saw the difference close up and personal. I think it was easier to manipulate Dallas to stay because he had more to lose by the time they got back. Yeah, I thought, Jenna made a real point of thanking Dallas's family for standing by her and Dallas rather than the church. I'm curious, does anybody know if Dallas's parents are still practicing Scientologists? Dallas already knew what an outside life was as a public before he joined the Sea Org. Yeah, there's an interesting thing about cults. Yeah, he knew what the outside world was like, but Jenna didn't. Um, did you really, Indigo? Do we need a break? Everybody's having fun with the AI art now. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, let's see what we're going to have AI wars here. Let's show what Cricket sent. First, let's show this one. There's that one. This one right here. Isn't that lovely? See that one? That one's lovely. And then War in a Good Way. I love this. These are my favorite kind of chairs. Okay. Thank you, Indigo. Those will be great. I will I love the library. It looks really comfy. In fact, hold on. See, now I'm trying to do things quick and it's going to take me forever. Okay, now I got to do the other thing. No. It's not going to work quickly, so it's going to take too long. They are beautiful. It's hard to know what they thought before leaving. I wonder where they were of education outside of the church and also education about computers specifically. Yeah, Cricket, that's occurred to me. It's a really good point because they are taught to be afraid of outside knowledge and restricted access to computers and phones. I love cozy feelings in fall too. I love cozy feelings and fall too. So, what do you guys think were the key turning points that led to Jenna's decision to leave? I think being in Australia was one of the key turning points. that led to Jenna's decision to leave. Um, I think that not letting her go to grandma's funeral. Ah, yeah, that one. No compassion. Like this utter lack of compassion. Control. She was fed up with the church having all the control. Yeah, and she was really willing to let him have it about it, right? She didn't have a fucking care. Not a fucking care. Yeah, I think so too, Indigo. I think so too. Hey, child number 4. I need my beverage, y'all. Otherwise, my mouth will get dry and I won't be able to speak to you. I think Australia made them see how much control there was when they got back, right? I think that was really key. Um so I'm curious, guys. Dallas broke when they wanted him to leave Jenna at the airport. Dallas broke when they told him she couldn't stay. That's when he was like, I am done with this, which is so interesting to me. I'm not clear why that moment broke him. It was an interesting moment, right? I also think Jenna found it weird she was still allowed to talk to her parents. Yeah, her parents were never declared. She always seems willing to speak up more than most, even as a young person. It's a good quality. Yeah, she seemed to have a very loud voice that really did not care. It was interesting in the last couple of chapters where Jenna talks about how Dave had promised her parents that she would go with them. And he wanted her to go with them. He wanted her gotten rid of. And so I'm just really curious how Dave went from being supportive of Jenna to hating Jenna's guts. You think it's because they let him believe that they wanted Jenna to stay? Oh, thank you, Scooter Mom. Thank you. That makes sense now. If that's the story they'd been feeding him, why all of a sudden can't she stay? Why all of a sudden are we reversing course? That would be freak out weird. So the majority of this story is about questioning one's own beliefs. So I'm curious, do you guys think questioning one's own beliefs is vital for personal growth? Paolo. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? It's good to see you. It's very good to see you. Dave hated Jenna because Ron and Biddy left. They tried to get Jenna to leave, but she didn't. She threw a wrench in the plan. Exactly. No face. How are you, honey? So I think critical conversations and examining your own beliefs is really an important part of personal growth. Scott and the kiddo are singing Let It Go together, and you really wish you could sneak off and video it. That'd be so cute, Sunrise. That'd be so cute. That was Nobot giving free likes. Oh, well, I like Nobot's free likes. No face. I like Nobot's free likes. Yeah, Nobot, no face. We like them all, Nobot. And no face. Personal growth happens when you question things. Jenna questioned why, and Dave didn't like that because it meant Jenna couldn't be manipulated. Part of my job, Cricket says, is checking myself for bias of all kinds regularly. I couldn't do it without critical thinking about myself. Yeah, I was raised in a faith where values clarification and critical thinking were part of faith formation from a very, very young age. And um, I think it's contributed to my growth as a person. Don't forget about No Smurf. I didn't know we had a No Smurf. That's amazing. You know what I need? I need a lip gloss. Excellent. Much better. No face by any other name just wouldn't be the same. Indeed. Are you tending bar tonight, Indigo? That's excellent. Um, that's really that kind of critical thinking is really hard to engage in. Um, when one is in an organization that actively trains you against uh, critical thinking and questioning. So the mind numbing routines become a substitute for questioning. Your parents taught you to be critical of everyone and learn for yourself. Even when I questioned them, they would give me logical reasons why beyond because I said so. That's good, Indigo. That's what I try to do or have tried to do with my children is come up with logical reasons beyond because I say so. It reminds me of the old yarn where an older woman was teaching her daughter to make pot roast, and she cut the ends off both sides of the pot roast. And that's how she cooked the pot roast. And the younger woman asked her mother, why are we cutting off the ends? And her mother said, well, I don't know, that's how my mom taught me. So they went and talked to Grandma, and Grandma said, I don't know, that's how my mom taught me. And so they went and talked to Great Grandma, and Great Grandma laughed. She laughed, y'all. She laughed and said, I cut off the ends because the pan was too small, and it's the only pan I had. So that is how things get passed down sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And so you have to be able to stop a moment. You have to be able to question those and wonder, is there a good reason for this? Because certainly, while there's nothing wrong with cutting off the ends of the pot roast, you certainly don't need to do it if you've got a pan that's big enough. No Smurf, the opposite of Papa Smurf? Exactly. Exactly. One of the things that I've been wondering a lot reading this book is how to protect human rights in the face. There he is, no Smurf. Excellent. Um, the abuse of human rights is pretty significant. And how do we protect human rights in the face of, like I said, such these sorts of high control groups? How do we do it? Your parents taught you to think for myself, and I remind them when I disagreed. Yeah, raising kids to think for themselves it's hard work because it means that they don't just listen to you and they want to go off and do their own thing. And sometimes that is dangerous. Sometimes. And so you have to do this balance, this weird balance of teaching children to think for themselves and teaching them to respect their elders so they stay safe. It is difficult. Sometimes the stove is hot. Yeah. Sometimes the stove is hot. No Smurf. Jenna seems a lot more worried about losing people, losing her parents, her brother Dallas. As a young adult, that may make sense. Now, as an older woman, she seems less afraid of losing people. Yeah, I think I think one would be less afraid of losing people now that they're out of the church, I guess. But you mean as a young woman in the church, she seems less afraid of losing people? Oh, cricket. I bet you did. I bet you did. When was that? 87, 88? That was right after they reinstituted the draft. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. So what things can we do to protect, what things can we do to protect people from these high control groups? Are there things we can do? Um, are there protective measures? Are there protective measures that you guys think can be taken? No face kicked nobody, no smurf out. They gave you likes, so now they are done. Okay, no face. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. The Jenna in the church was more afraid of losing people. I wondered, Indigo. Jenna in 2024 seems less afraid if it means she stays safe and happy. Yeah. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap would be nice. Yeah, indeed, you have to educate people, Susan. Education is so vital. Um, Getting the education out about high control groups, I think, is really difficult because it always seems to be about power, right? Because the high control groups always seem to be about power. Do you think Jenna's family relationships helped her escape or made it more difficult, y'all? We're educating people with the protest, and the more we talk about the abuses and fight through legal means, the more people we can prevent from joining. Indeed, Indigo. But it's not just this high control group, it's high control groups in general. We can't just pass if we're gonna talk about passing legislation to protect human rights, what sort of legislation would that be? Is that something we could even do? I can't think of legal laws that could be passed, legislation that could be posed that would make things safer for people. I think it is just a matter of better education. So, what about family relationships? Be someone they know they could talk to, not judge them harshly because their beliefs are out of the ordinary. Yes, Cricket. That is always be approachable. Be approachable, be approachable, be approachable. I think if you're talking about her uncle, that made it more difficult. Nobody wanted to be responsible for letting a Miscaviage leave. That's a good point, Sunrise Dawn. Most people either tend to believe the lie to the point they won't listen to reason, or they just don't care. Sure does seem that way, doesn't it, No Face? I watched a really good movie this week. It's on. I'm going to have to check what it's on. Hold on. It's on Netflix. So this movie is called Hitman. 2 words. It's a 2023 film. It's called Hitman. And the premise is a young man working for the police department who, through a series of incidents, becomes an undercover operative posing as a hitman for suspects who are wanting to hire a hitman because they need to get the suspects dead to rights. And so, what was so interesting about this movie is the extent to which this young man who is the police operative playing a hitman, he gave everybody a different hitman. He adapted what he was doing and the kind of person he was and how he was presenting. He adapted all of that into his character, and he had a different character for each person. So that just came to mind when talking about how do you interact with Scientologists is you have to be that person that they need, right? You have to somehow pull that all in. Now this guy, it's a movie and all of that, but it was really interesting. It was really interesting. Most people either tend to believe the lie to the point that they won't listen to reason or they just don't care. Yeah. You have to fight it on individual basis, like Fat Grammy helping to push Obolensky's law. Using individual cases humanizes it. There you go, Indigo. It's interesting they say there's no disconnection because the cult basically destroyed Miscaviage's family. Right? I mean, hasn't everybody but Miscavige left now? Is there anybody left in that other than David in that any other Miscaviges left? Are there any other Miscaviges left? Do we know? Let's find out. All the Miscaviges have left. All the Miscaviges have left. So, You have to go state by state because the federal government won't grow some cojones and take a stand. Shelley is out there somewhere. Yeah, Shelley is out there somewhere. I think that protesting peacefully is great, but yelling at people usually makes them do the opposite of what you say. That is my experience, is that yelling at people tends to not be successful. That is definitely my experience in life, is that people tend to not like that. Was there any aspects to Jenna's search for individuality that you guys really related to? Um, I thought it was really fascinating to watch her slowly build the building blocks of a foundation that would allow her to leave. Exactly that, no face. It was fascinating to watch her build these building blocks towards a an ability to leave step by step by step by step. It's like all these things she noticed and put them in a little box in her head. And then she'd add it up. You know, she'd have all these things in this little box. And every once in a while, she'd take these things out and add a new one, like little beads of truth that she had in this box. And little by little, she put the pieces of the puzzle together until she saw it for what it was. I've been wondering if anyone has considered a class action suit for child or elder abuse. Yeah, that would be excellent, Cricket. I'm not sure why that hasn't happened. Related to the pain of doubting if your friends were genuine and then finding out they were and their letters were kept. That was just really, I mean, I can't, cruel, just downright cruel for the sake of being cruel. I mean, it's just cruelty for cruelty's sake. I get worked up when I think about it. I get worked up when I think about it. Okay, Miss Sunrise Dawn, good night. I also really noticed how how Jenna's resilience seemed to grow as the story progresses. She seemed, there's always the hammer and the anvil analogy, right? You want to be the hammer and you want to be the anvil. And between the hammer and the anvil of Scientology, Jenna seems to have developed a level of self-knowledge that that led her to rejecting the cult, right? It's also interesting the sense of, I don't know if you guys noticed this. There is, throughout the book, a sense of disconnection, a sense of reporting the facts of what happened, a sense of disconnection. I'm not sure. Detachment. Um, which is neither here nor there. It just made it was a reporting of events. There wasn't a whole lot of emotion in there. And so I'm really curious about how much of that was how close she was into Scientology, how close she still was to Scientology, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. What I think she held back a lot. I think it was worse than we can imagine. I think she held back a lot too, Susan. I think she held back a lot too. I didn't get, like, there was a more emotion in the last two chapters, I think, than there were in the previous 30 some. Ryan's right here, no face. You want to see Orion? Is it break time? Come here, Bubba. Come here. Come here. People want to see you. There he is. And I gotta turn off the background. Hold on. No, don't lick my face. Turn off the background so you can see the dog. There he is. There he is. Look at that boy. There he is. Too much in indigo? Too much what? Too much information? Too much emotion? You like the background better than the fake screen? Really, no face? That's sweet of you. He's being pretty sweet. He's being pretty sweet today. Orion, can you tell everybody it's time for the first Minnesota goodbye? When's the first Minnesota goodbye? It's right now. The time for the first Minnesota goodbye is right now. Huh, buddy? Right now. Yeah. There's my Bubba. Don't lick my face. Don't lick my face. Aww. Aww. No, you don't need to lick my face. No. I got makeup on. Don't lick my face. You really don't need to lick anything. She felt like she may have been too harsh on people, but I wonder if that's... I didn't feel she was too harsh on anybody, Indigo. First Orion, goodbye. There you go, no face. Yes, that's a good boy. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no more yawns. No face licking. No face licking. Yeah. Oh, I'll scratch you right there. Is that the spot? Is that the spot? Yeah. Okay. Yes, no face, I did. Cricket. Tucking is, yeah, it is cute, isn't it, Indigo? I found the right spot. His leg is going. Okay. Enough puppy. Enough puppy. So I think Indigo's point is really interesting, that, and it leads to this question I was going to ask about what can Jenna's journey teach us about resilience, healing, and moving forward after trauma. And I think one of the big things that I take is that looking at the entirety of her book and looking at the 10 years since her book, if she were to do it now, it would be a different story because her story is different now. So there's this concept called political history. And what that is talking about is basically history is made by the victors, right? History is written by the victors. And so, whatever story you think it's dealing with the realization that it wasn't your fault. Yeah, that's a big one, no face. That you didn't deserve it, that it wasn't your fault, that it was wrong. Those are pretty huge. So, the stories that get told about the past are always reflected through the present. And so your perspective and therefore your truth can shift and change. And that's, I think, what Jenna's journey can teach us about resilience, healing, and moving forward. That what you think is your story isn't necessarily the last word on your story, for better or for worse. Where you are now isn't where you're going to be. You are not you are not you're not just one thing. You're an amalgamation of all the many yous and perspectives that you've had over the years. So that's my observation about Jenna's life journey. Did everybody enjoy the book? Does anybody have any final last comments about the book? We're wrapping this puppy up and moving on to Catherine Spallino's book, The Bad Cadet. Got it sitting on the shelf right above my head here. Right there. And that is what we are going to be doing next week. You enjoyed it a lot? Good. Good, Scooter Mom. What do you think is the biggest thing you took out of it? I think it drove home for me in a very new and real way how um, sorry that thought went out of my head. I'm losing them left and right today, y'all. Big Chief, how are you doing? Guys, I forgot to make a live, to schedule a live for tonight. You wish current Scientologists could read it and realize they're not alone and life outside is possible. Yeah, I wish that too, Scooter Mom. I wish that too, Scooter Mom. Oh, I think the book brought home for me the depth of the cruelty for cruelty's sake. Just cruelty for cruelty's sake. It's not hibiscus all over the place, Big Chief. We'll have some hibiscus tea. No Face will make us some amazing drinks with hibiscus juice. They'll be beautiful magenta. That would be lovely. Hibiscus and some triple sec and maybe I don't know what spirit, gin maybe, a nice varietal of gin, or I mean I love bourbon. You liked it. The book was sad a lot. It was sad a lot, wasn't it, Susan? It was sad a lot. I am really not happy with this camera. This puppy's going back. Thinking about her ongoing growth, I guess she wasn't confident about making videos. Yeah, she is really good at it. I've been really impressed with her videos. You're still here, Mandy? I'm glad you're still here. I love hibiscus tea. Mexicans call it Jamaica. Jamaica. Jamaica? I like hibiscus tea too, Big Chief. I am very partial to hibiscus tea. It is very nice. Hibiscus with a little bit of licorice to sweeten it up. And maybe some cinnamon. You want to do another book club, Mandy? I got 2 right now. I don't know if I could read a 3rd book and do school, but let's talk about it. I would love that. I mean, maybe not right now. We've got 2 right now. We've got the members only book club and we've got this book club. The members only book club is on Tuesday nights. And yeah. So Sunday night book club is going to continue to be Scientology stuff. I know I saw that. I'm so sorry I missed it. It is on my list to go back and watch the replay. I saw it and I wanted to show up and I was just distracted with other things and couldn't make it, but I did see it. It's on my replay list that I have to watch things. I think that's really interesting. The book that we are reading right now is in members only book club, Mandy, is Stephen Hassan's newest book on the cult of Trump. And so that's not Scientology, it's High Control Group. And then the next book we're going to read is called Mutants and Mystics. Yeah, the Trump one. Mutants and Mystics. And that book I'm really excited about. Yeah, you should do a set time, Mandy. That would be great. Cricket, I want to know how you work with your clients and manage to be on the computer giving us all this great feedback all the time. You guys want to see my newest rock? Here she is. That's the newest one. Cricket is awesome. Cricket is awesome. I also thought I started a new turtle, but I'm not sure where I put it. Oh, here, I made another one. I made this one. And I made this one. Uncultured. No face, you taking off? Okay, see you later. Today you are the book by Michael Francoeur. The first cult his family was in lived on an island in my hometown. Michael Francoeur. What book is that, Cricket? Uncultured. Let's see. Ooh. That one looks interesting. Mandy, Uncultured. That could go on the list for Scientology Book Club if people agree. The account of a woman who escaped from the children of God, the family. And it's just been published in the last 2 years. Oh, look, there's a snippet. There's a snippet of the prologue. If y'all would like me to read it to you, I could. Yep, Children of God. There you go. He just published a book about Scientology and the mission of the Holy Spirit, which is a cult from Quebec. Cricket, will you send me the info? That sounds interesting. There's this guy I really like who is a scholar about Scientology. He's a scholar of. He's a sociologist. He's a Canadian sociologist, and he's got degrees in religious studies and sociology. And he has written a ton of stuff about high control groups and Scientology specifically. Falling from a pink cloud. This guy. My mic is going in and out. I am probably talking too quiet, Mandy. How is that? Is that better? I'm probably talking way too quiet. So this guy that I put the link in, that's the guy I was babbling about incoherently, apparently. Second Minnesota goodbye, y'all. He is an academic. He's a sociologist and has a degree in religious studies and has published a lot about Scientology. Okay, Mandy, enjoy your dinner. I think we are having Costco butter chicken, if I understand correctly. Hugs and hugs, Mandy. Thanks for stopping by. So, guys, let me turn my background back on. Even I feel more comfy. There we go. It's on Amazon, available on Kindle too. I gotta write it down. No, I gotta look it up. Falling from a pink cloud. Well, I can't find it anywhere. Look at that. There it is. When spirituality leads to a dead end. Testament to the power of confronting one's truth, no matter how painful. Interesting, Cricket. Interesting. More and more books getting out there about high control groups. So, are there any last thoughts about Jenna's book? Anything deep and meaningful you were left with beyond that the Church of Scientology is evil? Because I got that one down. I got that one down good. I do not like how my camera keeps messing up. Don't like it at all. He was interviewed by someone in the last week. Maybe apostate Alex. Oh, interesting, Cricket. Alex's channel. Thank you, Cricket. Thank you. Is the sound better now, y'all? Apostate Alex last week. Lovely. Lovely. I'm going to call a third Minnesota goodbye a little early, y'all. I am noticing I worked all weekend, almost nonstop on lesson plans for this week. 3 lesson plans, and I've only got 2 made. Luckily, I don't need the third one until Thursday, but I know what I'm doing on Wednesday now. Has some content on YouTube, mostly in French. How many languages do you speak, Cricket? Yeah. Only English? Really? How indoctrinated they are, in the words of a madman. They sure are. And, you know, if you think about it, if you zoom out for a moment, it's not just Scientology, right? It's the same building blocks for every high control group. The same basic building blocks for every high control group. And how do we teach people in general to stay away from the high control groups? How do we give people the tools and the security? How do we give people the tools and the security so they don't feel so terrified as to need a high control group? You wish the Jehovah's Witness happy birthday and Merry Christmas. Big Chief, that's mean. Happy birthday and Merry Christmas. Have you been here the whole time, Big Chief? I think you've been here the whole time. Otherwise, you get the third Minnesota Goodbye Award. So, what's everybody got planned for the week? My schedule looks like my YouTube schedule. It appears that, well, it doesn't appear. Tuesday night is members only book club. And I have set a live video to premiere 15 minutes before the Zoom call. So there is a live video that will premiere 15 minutes, not a live video, but a video premiere that will go live 15 minutes before members only book club to remind y'all that it's coming. Did we lose Thrasher? Or are you still here, Thrasher? You've been awfully quiet if you're still here. So that's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have Wheel of Carrie. And Friday, I may be on with Sunrise, assuming Sunrise is doing her regular Friday to get together. And then Saturday morning, I will be live with Bacon and Baking Hour. Bacon Baking Hour. Bacon Baking Hour. I always want to put an and in there. It's Bacon Baking Hour. Bacon Baking Hour. And then, hi, Journey. How are you, my dear? It is really good to see you. We have mostly finished up Jenna's book. And I was just talking about what my schedule looks like next week, when things are going to be, what's going on. Journey, you win the first person to come in after the third Minnesota Goodbye Prize today. You are the first person to show up after the third Minnesota Goodbye. Congratulations. Would you like a trophy or a crown? Yeah. Yeah. Trophy or crown? Yep. Crown or trophy? Which one do you want? Your friends thought that the bacon baking hour is hilarious. I had to come up with something, Cricket. Crown, please. Excellent. We have a queen. We have a queen. Journey gets both. No Face, I thought you took off, man. Now you're lying to me. Journey gets all the crowns. All the crowns. So what's everybody else's week looking like? I've got class tomorrow morning, and I've got class tomorrow night, and I've got class Thursday night. You hide in the bushes? I know, No Face. You hide in the bushes, make yourself scarce, and then show up out of nowhere. You've been working on the map? I bet it is a beast, Journey. That map is going to be something else when you get it done. Xenu Marlene, everybody. Xenu Marlene. Scooter Mom, how are you feeling since your shot? Have you noticed any difference at all? I have a new client I start with this week, and so I'm pretty anxious about that. I start with them on Tuesday. You hope your week is quiet too? I've had all this free time, and so now I'm mourning the loss of my Tuesdays to this new client. I lost another client this week because the client's mother was concerned that I'm in a wheelchair. And she thought that it would be challenging for me to keep up with him in a wheelchair. Oh, good, Scooter Mom. That's excellent to hear. There's a conflict that came up. 'Cause of insurance? Yes, cricket. Um, I think she's just highly anxious scooter mom. Um, it was only 2 hours a week, and it took me a half an hour to get there. So, I don't think I'm losing much. Um, usually I just hang at home with him, but sometimes I need to go out into the community, and the client isn't necessarily terribly voice responsive, and I think she's afraid that he would get away from me when I'm in my chair. And the reality is he would get away from me if I wasn't in my chair, right? He would get away from me if I wasn't in my chair. But she had already made her decision, and so there's no use arguing with her. Um, like I said, it's only 2 hours a week, and it takes me half an hour to get there. So I think the net benefit is slim, slim. It's unfortunate. I'm a little frustrated because it's 2 clients in 2 months who have decided not to work with me because I use my chair. Um, it's frustrating. That's all. It's frustrating. I need to find a different job, but I'm not quite sure what is out there, and trying to find part-time jobs is incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. They just don't tend to exist. So, um, it probably is Journey, and I work with developmentally disabled adults. I can understand her concern. At least you now know before building rapport and connection. Still, you're modeling independence, which is important. They missed out. Yep. Yeah. It's a bummer. But what am I going to do? Make them work with me even if it is discriminatory? I don't want to be there if they don't trust my care. And if I'm honest, um, having verbal control of this, I mean, I don't know. I really have not a clue what it is she thinks I could do differently in a chair, not in a chair. And I suppose if I think about it hard, I can get a little bent about it, especially considering this is the second time. Yeah, we roll plenty fast. Exactly, Janelle. How are you doing, sweetie? I have missed your face in here. I have missed your face in here. I don't know what she thinks I could do better if I walked. I I don't know. But it's like, companies are now requiring people to come into the office when everybody worked just fine not in the office for a whole hell of a long time. Terrain is another issue. AFK, what's AFK, Scooter Mom? Terrain is another issue, but on the flat, leggers can't keep up with folks using chairs. No. And I mean, we're going to the grocery store or to the Starbucks. We're not going any place significant. Furthermore, I'm not allowed to physically restrain him anyhow. I can't lay a hand on him. I don't know at all what I'd be able to do differently in my chair as opposed to out of it. One door opens and one door closes and another will open. Indeed, God never opens. Yes, I can get it right. God never closes a door without opening a window. Think it through first. So, start with a new client. That should be interesting. Like I said, I'm a little nervous about it. That's Tuesday. So you guys will hear about it. Those of you who come to the members only book club will hear about it on Tuesday night. How things went with the new client. Away from keyboard. Got it. Away from keyboard. Thank you, Scooter Mom. Thank you. Okay, guys, it is coming up on my dinner time. I am looking forward to that butter chicken over some basmati rice. I think it will be excellent. AFK, away from keyboard. Thank you, Cricket. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Hugs and hugs. And I will see all of y'all. Well, I hope to see all of y'all Tuesday night. But if not on Tuesday night, then definitely on Wednesday night at Wednesday Wheel. Okay? Take care, y'all.